Hi guys, happy Saturday again. Um, I don't mean to be like a tease or to be like the YouTube equivalent of vague booking, when you drop little nuggets of things you want to talk about or things you're going to disclose and then don't do it. But upon further reflection, I thought, it's not really worth my time, angst, effort, or energy to rise to other people's occasions of pettiness, small mindedness, imperious judging, you know, um, thinking that they somehow know the rules of YouTube or YouTube content creators or channels and how people should run their channels. And instead of just going away quietly and no longer supporting you or watching you or being your friend, they bash you on their channel in subtle ways, in a way that's supposed to make it seem like they don't care, but they clearly do because they're taking the time to talk about you. And no, I'm not going to mention names. You can extrapolate whoever or whatever you want, but it really kind of got to me this morning. I was already having a rough morning, and I already grapple all the time with canceling my channel anyway, but I don't want to do that because I enjoy it, and I feel like there's still a small handful of people that enjoy watching me. And the ones who have turned against me, I'm really surprised, although I'm not, because it's kind of a little bit of a mob mentality. It's a clique. Mean girls, very immature, very petty. The whole Amberlynn Reid thing, I've said this probably about 20 times now. I admit I was on the bandwagon, okay? I admit that I didn't have a reaction channel per se, but I enjoyed supporting the reaction channels. I enjoyed making my comments. I enjoyed occasionally using my space on my channel to say, what a train wreck I think she is. And I do still think that, and I believe she is, but the turnaround that I've had that certain people are calling a personality change, which I find hurtful and inaccurate. The turnaround is just that for myself, and I never judged anybody else, if you want to do something that makes you happy, do it, but I don't have to support it or participate. Is that I feel very strongly in my heart, I'm just saying this again in case nobody's heard me the other times I said it, that she's a very, very mentally ill, personality disordered individual, young woman, in the end stages of very active addiction. And I don't like her. I don't really care for her at all. But from the standpoint of like my own conscience and my own wanting to not contribute to negativity and the very toxicity that we claim we speak out against, the more you watch her and the more you feed into the ammunition of the attention that she capitalizes on mentally and financially, I don't see any point in being on that bandwagon of ganging up on her. And I'm sorry, even though she deserves it in a certain way, it's still bullying. In my book, it's still bullying. So I'm denouncing it for me on my channel, and that's all I ever did. And then I don't know, coincidentally or not, that's when I started losing a lot of friends. And I always thought that I had much more in common with people than just that. I don't have time to watch Amberlynn Reid's videos and comment on her. In my opinion, she's dying. She's severely deluded. I don't watch full videos, but I see snippets on other people's videos, and I sometimes have clicked on her just to see what she's up to. I can't watch for more than 2 minutes, just from the thumbnails alone. She's clearly committing suicide. She needs help, and she won't accept it. And so if that stance is what puts me so far apart, or my being honest about struggles I have emotionally or romantically or with my own mental illness issues, which are under control right now because I'm not ashamed of talking about being on meds, and my ongoing alcohol struggles, those are the things that make me, in my opinion, empathetic toward people who are addicts or who struggle with mental problems. Is she more obnoxious than me? I think so. Is she unlikable? I think so. But I don't know. I just, this morning I heard something. I clicked on somebody's channel who I used to watch and support, someone I really thought was a dear friend and a loyal friend. And I heard things that may or may not have been directed at or towards me, but I think a couple of them were. And I never claimed to be better than anybody. I had a few watershed moments in the past 3 months or so, coinciding with therapy and meeting this other sort of mentor, female, I'm not going to say guru, that's so culty, but this woman who reached out to me after I was on that documentary, and she was doing work with me to help me heal my trauma and my past. And ever since then, I feel a little more loving toward people, empathetic, spiritually minded, or at least trying to be, and not as small and petty. And I guess when I mentioned that in whatever way I mentioned it back then, it was off-putting to people, and it's fine because I don't beg anybody to watch me. I've always kind of said from the beginning that I don't find myself particularly riveting or interesting or entertaining. I just started this channel kind of on a goof. I think initially I got the thought of it because I was enjoying Shannon's channel so much, and I don't really watch a lot of channels anymore. Like I mean, I do like Kit Kat Reacts because I really like the way she speaks and I like her personality. But the other people that I used to regularly watch, I just kind of don't anymore. Not that I suddenly have taken an active dislike, but I just don't think it helps the big picture. You know, I think it's keeping kind of the circuit going of her dysfunction. That's where I stand on that. So, but I got annoyed this morning because when I listened to this person, it seemed like she was trying to get people to turn against me in a way, and I think it's unfair. I think it's very disappointing and saddening to me. So anyway, I'm still at work. I have to go out with them later. How much time do I have left? I want to read to you something that I'm working on today. This is going to be for my interview for the next documentary that I'm going to be doing in the city with Tracy, who's one of the documentarians for NBC Productions. So that'll be cool. I'll be back at 30 Rockefeller Center, and she's going to get me a lunch and give me a tour of the studio. But this is what I'm working on today because I've got such a long work day, and I might be here overnight too. And just in case anybody, perhaps new subscribers, don't know that much about the cult and everything, but you know, this is the real work I'm doing interiorly. This is the stuff I'm trying to heal my life with, and commenting on a troubled 600-pound 28-year-old in Kentucky is not helping me heal my demons inside. So these are the questions I have to answer. When you were part of the work, how did it feel compared to the outside world? What anecdote from your time in the work best conveys who Julius was? How was Joanne different from Julius or Paul? What was your first impression of Paul Sweetman? What is the story that stands out to you about him? How was his leadership style different from Julius or Joanne? How can you best explain the power dynamic between Julius, Joanne, and Paul? They were the unholy trinity of the cult. Do you remember Sorek Minery? How and when did he come into the work? He was someone I was raised with. I grew up with him. Indicted in the murder of Paul Sweetman. What was Sorek like? Anything you recall about his personality? What is the story you can tell us about him? Did he seem like someone who would follow any order, even one to kill? Do you know who Rudy Hannon was? When did Rudy reconnect with his father and become part of the work? Because Rudy is Julius's son, and he's in jail, also indicted for the murder of Julius's chief apostle, Paul Sweetman. What was your reaction when you heard Julius had died? Do you ever think now about how the work might proceed in his absence? Did you hear that Paul Sweetman had gone missing, and how did that strike you? Did you hear about Joanne's death? What was your reaction? I'm drinking a lot of water today. I feel kind of stalled in my weight loss efforts. Did you hear that Paul Sweetman had gone missing? How did that strike you? Did you hear about Joanne's death? What was your reaction? What was your reaction when you heard Paul Sweetman had been murdered by 2 members of the cult? What is the most important message you would want potential viewers to take away from this project? So, these are the things that are occupying my mind. At the end of the month, my oldest grandson turns 3. I'm going to be going there for his birthday party. Therapy is going really well. We're doing some deep dives. We're digging in deep. The man pretty much knows every single thing about me. Every secret, every fear, every trauma, every panic, every time I drank and regretted it. And you know, for somebody to look down on an addict or make fun of something they don't personally know or understand what it feels like is very small-minded. I have no time for that in my life. So if that makes me a bad YouTuber, then so be it. I don't need to have a lot of friends. I do this because I actually think I have a little bit of an important message to get out there. To redirect my channel, I want to talk about the keto lifestyle, losing weight, making healthy choices, my poetry, which I'm really endeavoring to get published now. Talking about the cult projects, and just the typical complaining about work, I guess. That's how I choose to connect. That's what my life is about right now. It's not about Amberlynn Reid or the other ones. When I look at their stuff, all I see is like, there but for the grace of God go I. Without any self-awareness or insight, I feel like any one of us could wind up in that boat. You know what I mean? And I do have food addiction issues, mild now, but they used to be much more pronounced before I had my surgery. So I'm gonna go for now. I got other things to do, and I think that this soliloquy of mine was all over the place, but I just wanted to kind of get out the fact that I guess I don't really have tea to spill, except that I feel sad and a little bewildered that people would turn on me just because I suddenly seem different, or because I have occasionally in the past been a little inebriated. Well, one time was bad. If I'm even the one that this person was talking about. I don't think this person is even watching this now, because I don't think she watches my channel anymore. And I don't know, it's strange. You always hear about how vicious and cutthroat YouTube can be. You don't really think it's ever going to happen to you. I thought of 2 quotes today. Expectation is the root of all heartache. I think Shakespeare said that. And comparison is the thief of joy. And I would need to Google who said that. I want to say Voltaire, but I could be wrong. So that's it. No vacation time coming up. I've been covering for a lot of people on vacation. My therapist is going on his 2nd vacation next week. But I have a lot of things to do to keep busy, and he's going to stay in touch with me by phone because he does that with his clients. He's amazing. And what else? Gotta get to the dentist still. I want to get my teeth whitened. I want to see how much that would cost. And I'm enjoying my new phone, and I'm still thinking about trying to figure out how to afford a car lease and get rid of this bucket of bolts. And I'm enjoying keto cooking, and just now I made a whole bunch of, I made egg salad for later, and I made sausage, mushrooms, and spinach. Almost kind of like a pizza without the crust. I'm going to put some cheese on it. And then weigh-in Wednesday is in 4 days? I don't know how it's going to go. I cheated a little bit this week. I really crave chocolate. It's bad. It gets really bad like between 7 and 9 at night. Okay, we're at almost 14 minutes now, so I'm going to go. Thanks for hearing me out. I hope some of this made sense to you. I hope that some of you can stick around long enough to hear some stuff from my viewpoint that might resonate with you. I notice I value every single comment I get, so this is not to say that I don't. But it is amazing how since there's been this mass exodus from my channel, there's way fewer comments than there ever used to be. But that's okay. People show you who they are, and especially those who claim to be spiritually superior. I don't really understand that attitude, but we're all in this together, guys. The world is not really getting better, and there's a lot of shit going down, and it just seems stupid to bicker about petty things. So thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe and the bell notification if you're new and you want to find out when I upload, which is often. And yeah, maybe there'll be an Ulta haul coming up this week. I have a lot of points to redeem. I'm gonna go. Love you guys. Peace out.